Yes, yes. Good morning. Good morning. I am the place where God shows up. Thank you, Lisa, for that beautiful song. And good morning, good morning, good morning, Austin CSL family and everyone that's watching. It is such an honor to be with you all today. Yeah. Let us just take in a deep breath that we just breathe in God and we release I am. Just knowing that the God within us, the I am is who we are, that it is not separate from us. So today's message, embracing the power of regenerativity, invites us to step beyond the appearances, step beyond what our eyes can see. We know that there's so much happening in our world right now. And in this place, it invites us to see. Sometimes people call this turbulence, they call it chaos, they call it unsettling, whatever word we want to give it. It invites us, regenerativity invites us to see these things not as an ending, but as a part of life's ongoing process of renewal. And it's such an amazing space to be in. Regenerativity is the capacity for continuous growth, renewal, and a new life, even after difficulty or disruption. It is nature's way, it's spirit's way. It is built into the fabric of life itself. When we think about forests after fires, how they regenerate, how rivers, when they find new paths after floods, and then after the winter's long dormancy, how fields are renewed. And so do we. We are renewed every day, every moment. Today, we gather at a time when the world feels full of turbulence, uncertainty. There's a division that seems to be happening, and it's happening rapidly. It would be easy to look around and see only breakdown. But what we know as metaphysicians in this new thought, science of mind philosophy, that we are reminded of a deeper abiding truth. We're reminded that beneath the surface, life is always moving toward greater expression, greater wholeness, greater love. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, reminds us, you might want to hold up a mirror. Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Let me say that again. Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. Ponder that for a moment. You know, if we think only breakdown, what do you think we'll see more of? We'll see more breakdown happening, occurring around us, because that's where our thought processes are. What we know is that, but if we plant seeds of faith, of trust, and resilience, oh my gosh, we will see new beginnings, even in the most unlikely places. It reminds me, how many times have you seen, like you walking down a street or something, and or you've been around concrete, and all of a sudden you see this flower blooming through the concrete. That's what this is like. It's like those places where we think that it's so horrible, so horrific, or whatever it is we want to call it. But then when we plant these seeds of faith and of trust, there's something new that happens in that moment. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And sometimes some things do. Because what I know is that we're some powerful manifestors. Pema Chodron reminds us that nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. And you heard that in a reading a little while ago. So when we look at what's the message in all that's happening in our world right now, we think about with turbulence or the disruptions that are happening, it's not meaningless. I like to think of it, it is the compost from which wisdom grows. The discomforts we face, personally, collectively, these are not roadblocks. They are invitations. They call us to listen more deeply, to root ourselves to ensuring spiritual practices, and to rise again. We rise up, perhaps differently, perhaps stronger. These opportunities that are showing up, it allows us to take time to go within and trust that inner knowingness and ask, what is mine to do? And those are the things that support us in when we rise again, when we rise differently and stronger. You know, there are practices that we have that help us to cultivate the regenerative power within. When we look at spiritual mind treatments and how our treatments, when we do treatments, even it's like when we're doing it for ourselves and for others. And sometimes we can't do a treatment for ourselves because we're so caught up in the situation that we may have to go to a practitioner, go to a minister, go to someone that we know is our prayer warrior. And with those treatments, it helps us to affirm the truth of wholeness, even when appearances are frightening. The other thing that we can use is visioning. I know you all are, Austin CSL, that they're doing visioning right now. And in this process, this visioning process, it opens us up to the highest idea that Spirit has for us, beyond anything that we can see. And then we have meditation and mindfulness. In that meditative space, when we get to learn, we're learning to be with the moment, not against it. In the meditation process, we try to say that we still the mind, but we know that the monkey mind chatter comes up. And when that chatter comes up, it's not for us to foo-foo it away or poo-poo it away or however we want to say it, but it's to be with that, to see and recognize, oh, there's conversation happening. Let me be with this for a moment. And then go back to the stillness, to the quietness. In that meditative space, I like to be in that space because what it allows me when I get out of my own way, that I'm continuing to hear and get ideas from Spirit within. That I'm not looking outside for any identification or any knowing. It's like, okay, Spirit, what am I to do here? It's that moment. Sometimes it's just to take 5 minutes. I've done it in my car. Sometimes it's like, oh, my day seems crazy sometimes. What is it that I've not done? Oh, I've not meditated today. I can go find a spot, go to my car if I need to, and take a few moments to settle myself, to go within. Then the other thing that we can use, the other tool, is gratitude. I wake up in the morning and it's like, thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit, for this beautiful day. Even if it's pouring down rain outside. In that place of gratitude, it helps us to fertilize our consciousness with appreciation, even in the difficult seasons. In that place of gratitude, grateful for this new day. What is mine to do for this day? How am I to show up on this day? Grateful for waking up and opening my eyes this morning, because not everyone can account to that. Not everyone woke up this morning in this physical plane. But in gratitude, allow that to be the first thing when you open your eyes in the morning or when you're waking up. Thank you, Spirit, for this day. Thank you for this bed that I'm in and roof over my head. Gratitude continues to, when we plant those seeds, it helps to fertilize it and nurture it. Then the other thing I think about is sacred rest. Understanding that dormancy is part of the regenerative process. When we allow ourselves to rest, it's easy to run around and do this and this and this. And the thing what I realize is that for me, it's like my immune system sometimes gets out of whack. And I find myself, oh, I have to go get some extra garlic, go take some extra vitamin C, some whatever it is. But I also know I need to rest. And that's the thing that we offer in the flow of how things are going. It's like be in the flow of resting, be in the slow of resting. Regeneration is courageous. It asks us to stay present with the unknown, trusting that something good, something greater is taking root beneath the surface. We can't see that underneath of what's happening, but we know when we're planting our prayers that there is something happening because that's how the law works. When we embrace regenerativity, we become participants in a larger healing. It's not just for ourselves, but for the world around us. Our consciousness fertilizes the collective future. Just like a single tree helps sustain the life of an entire forest, the healing and renewal that we cultivate within ourselves, it ripples outward in ways that we may never fully see. We may not even be here when everything, the new processes happen. We may not even be around when we plant a tree in one city or one state or something, and we may have moved and we may never see that tree again. Ernest Holmes offers us this wisdom. He says, the road to freedom lies not through mysteries or occult performances, but through the intelligent use of nature for natural forces and laws. Regenerativity is not magic. It is simply life being itself. When we align with it, when we trust it, when we nourish it with steady practices and open hearts, that's when that magic happens. That's when we see it unfold. So today, I invite each of us to reflect on this question. What is my life asking for renewal? Not repair, but renewal. Because when we repair something, we try to fix it back to the original state of where it was. But when we're asking for renewal, we're allowing ourselves to open up to something greater than we could ever imagine. Then we can ask, where can I bless the turbulence, the uncertainty, the disruption that's happening, knowing it is preparing me for a deeper growth? Where can I bless the turbulence? Then also ask, how am I nurturing my consciousness for the future I wish to see? Because what's playing in your mind? What is it that you're thinking about? When we look at the news and we think, oh my gosh, the world is falling apart and, it's like this is so bad and we're never going to get out of this. But if that's where your consciousness is, then that's what you're going to continue to see more of. And it's not to say that things are not shifting in our world right now, because we know that they are. But in your consciousness and the seeds that you're planting, the verbal seeds that you're planting, how am I nurturing my consciousness for the future that I wish to see? When we talk about making this a world that works for all, how does that look to you? So let us trust that nothing is wasted, not the pain, not the uncertainty, not even the seasons of apparent emptiness. All of it becomes fertile ground of new life if we are willing to stay awake, stay open, and stay rooted in spirit. I once heard this quote from Brene Brown, and she reminds us, only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. Only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. Did you know that there is light within you that is stronger than any turbulence, any disruption? There is life within you that knows exactly how to begin again. Trust that inner knowingness. That's what happens when we go within. That there is that within us that knows exactly what to do and how to do it. And is asking us to trust it. So let us fertilize our future by trusting that regenerative power is already at work in us through faith, through practice, and through the choice to keep growing, even now, in this right now moment. So in this process, let us take a deep breath right now together again. And as we breathe, let's remember that regeneration begins when we are willing to release the struggle, release the need to control the old stories about who we are and what is possible. So we take in a deep breath and let it go. Remembering that God within us, that knows exactly who we are, that created us. That is my whole thing. I say that to Spirit all the time within me. I was like, when I try to figure something out, I try to work the situation out, or I try to step into a lane that's not mine and try to say, well, let me fix that for you. Let me take care of that. And when I realize that things are not working out, that's that place of surrender, that I have to take a step back. And I say to Spirit, it's like within, I've said, all right, Spirit, I give. You know me better than I know myself because you created me. And have the bird's eye view of what it is that's coming up next, what it is that I'm to do. Help me to trust me, to know that all truly is working out for our good. And one of the songs that Lisa's going to sing shortly is a Ricky Byers song. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh my gosh, it's like today we choose to release the turbulence and trust the higher wisdom unfolding through us. That's your homework for this week, for this moment. Choose to release the turbulence, the disruption, the annoyance, and trust the higher wisdom unfolding through you right now. When we open our hearts wide to Spirit's regenerative power, is the time when we affirm, I am ready, I am willing, I am fertile ground for new life. And so in this time, we're going to take this to prayer and just trust and know that right where we are, God is, and all truly is well. And so in this moment, I give thanks for this time that we have come here together, this regenerative process of where we are in this moment, that every breath is regenerating cells within our bodies, that our cells regenerates every second, that there are parts of us that we can regenerate our thinking process. When we step into this knowingness of, I can shift my thought consciousness, that my consciousness shifts the world. And it's not in an egoic way, but it's in a knowing way, knowing and trusting that what we know, what we feel, what we trust, that is already unfolding in perfect and divine order, and that the universe is already saying yes. Knowing that as each one of us that's here on this Zoom call right now, and those that will watch the recording, and those that may listen, those that are on Facebook, that we can go into prayer in this moment and set our intention for that we want to see in the world, that new world that we want to see. It's not about changing anyone that we think is not doing something right. It's about us knowing and changing and seeing the world of how we want to see it. The coming together of people all coming together, working with one another, supporting each other, living this life that God has created us to live. Oh, how beautiful it is to know that God is doing this amazing work in our lives, in the world right now. And knowing that we bless each and every person that we encounter, even if we may not like that person, that we say a prayer for them, that we see the God within each individual that we encounter, that there is a God within them that knows and is doing its work in them. The decisions that are being made are by choice. So how do we choose something different? For us, we know in the spiritual community that we choose peace, we choose love, we choose the knowingness of divine unfolding and perfect and divine order happening right here and right now. And so I am just grateful for this time that we have come here together, knowing that these words, the hearts that are gathered here today, that we send this out into the universe, to the universal law, to allow it to do its perfect thing right here and right now. Oh, how good and amazing this day is. This new moment happening right now, how good it is. Because this is God's day. And God's day is a good day. And so knowing that God is us, that we are that little piece of God, that our day is good, that we get to rejoice in this word, in our words that we speak out into the law, knowing that our words cannot return to us void, knowing that as we send it out, even before we even started this prayer, that the universe is already doing its work and saying, yes, yes, my child, yes. So I'm just grateful for this divine time together, knowing all is well and all is unfolding in perfect and divine order. And so I just allow this prayer to rest here in this moment, knowing that it is so. And I anchor with this prayer with Aho, Ashe, Amen, and so it is. Blessed be.